Hey everyone, this is Darko. Today I will show you picture settings for LG's SK8500 series or SK9000 series in the US. So this is one of the most advanced LCD TVs from LG in 2018, featuring 120Hz display capable of wide color gamut reproduction. It is IPS panel, however, using full array local dimming implemented on this model, you can get better contrast, better HDR effects necessary for content, whether it is HDR10, HLG or Dolby Vision. So first I will talk about SDR picture settings, and then I will jump to HDR to briefly explain also that area. If you want these settings as a PDF file, so listing all settings and also some additional tips, check links in the description. I'm offering them in my Calibration store. So to access picture settings, you can do it in two ways. First is to click Home, then to click the Settings button. And here you can quickly toggle between different picture modes. But if you want more details, then you need to scroll down to all settings. And here in picture mode, you click settings here and access this menu. So by default, TV comes for SDR in echo mode. So something like this. And you really don't need to be expert to see big difference between echo and, for example, cinema or vivid and cinema, or if we take a look at Technicolor or expert presets. So white balance drastically changes between these presets, and this is normal. It is normal that TVs by default come with poorly adjusted white balance and colors, and nothing is right actually. So my recommendation as always is that you, as soon as you unbox and install this TV, switch to one of the following picture presets: Cinema, Technicolor Expert, Expert Bright Room or Expert Dark Room. You will get much more natural looking images, and you will get result which is closer to original content that director intended you to see. There are still some deviations from standards. However, this TV offers full array of different controls necessary for proper calibration, and this TV also supports CalMAN's automatic calibration, also more advanced than these menus offer, so you can calibrate 3D LUT and really get ultimate color precision if you need it. Definitely this option is available, and with proper equipment, or if you hire a calibrator, you can do it. So now I'll jump to Expert Bright Room just to show you what I adjusted. So first option is backlight, and this option controls how bright or dark overall screen is. By default, if I go one step up, energy saving will be at auto. And what energy saving is, it is actually automatic adjustment of backlight control depending on how bright or dim the room is. So this TV has somewhere here in lower bezel a small sensor that will detect how much light is in the room and adjust brightness accordingly. However, if you want fixed brightness, then you can go with this off option, or you can play with these settings here. But for now, I will leave it at off, and through backlight, basically define how bright I want picture to be. Contrast is white level, so here you adjust at which value highlights will be clipped. Contrast 80 was correctly set by default. Same goes for black level, brightness 50 is correct. Sharpness 10, I checked different patterns, and this will not add any artificial sharpening. However, if you want the picture to be more sharp than original signal is, then you can increase this value. Color 50, no need to touch that, same goes for tint. And then we go to expert controls. Here you have dynamic contrast, which is off, super resolution that you can enable if you're watching standard definition and you want sharper looking images. Color gamut in expert bright room is set to wide, but as this is a wide color gamut TV, you will get oversaturated colors for watching standard content, SDR. So I recommend that you keep it at auto. Color filter off, gamma 2.2. Also with this you can adjust how bright or dark overall scene is. For dark room I recommend BT 1886, and for general content gamma 2.2 is just right. Personally I use it all the time regardless of how much light is in the room. White balance. Here you have plenty of different options for adjustment of white balance in two regions, dark and bright, but you can also access this 20-point IRE where you can adjust not only white balance but also gamma. So plenty of advanced controls. What I noticed on my unit, and this goes even for the most accurate picture presets, so cinema, Technicolor and expert presets, there is too little red, and as brightness increases, this red is less and less inside the picture and it's substituted by green. So you will get greenish tint on all images, and this is something what you definitely want to avoid. So what I did for this bright area, I increased red to 20, green I left at 0, and just slightly I increased blue to 5. This is just for my unit, but maybe you can use it as a reference, and I recommend some black and white images where you can test this and see what will give you the best result. Of course, ideally you want proper calibration tools to get correct values, but if you don't have access to them, you can do it yourself like this. For dark area of the screen, I didn't touch anything regarding white balance. Color management system, as always, LG offers saturation, tint and luminance adjustment for primary and secondary colors. BT709 gamut was correctly tracked by default, so I didn't touch anything here. Of course, you can, using calibration tools, adjust this to high precision or use CalMAN's AutoCal for ultimate precision. Picture options, here we have noise reduction and impact noise reduction, effective filters, but for quality content you don't need them. Black level low, this is depending on input signal, but for 16 to 235 signals, so limited range, it should be set like this. Motion eye care is adjustment of white balance depending on scenes, you don't need that. As I said, full array local dimming, 36 dimming zones. You have 3 flavors, with this one being the most aggressive, medium very similar to it. I recommend keeping LED local dimming at low, so you will get good contrast and basically for me the best looking picture. 120 Hz screen for watching movies without soap opera effect. I recommend user setting with de-judder at 0, de-blur at 10, and black frame insertion is also available, but as it will reduce overall brightness of the screen, I recommend that you turn it off. And also on some content it can introduce flickering, so dimmer picture that flickers, not something I like. Apply to all inputs, so as usual LG is offering this option only for settings you see on this screen. For white balance and color management system you need to access those options and then copy settings there. Okay, now let's switch to HDR content. For HDR10 and HLG content, by default you will get picture in standard mode. The most precise are cinema and Technicolor, and then they're offering similar settings like I showed for SDR content, except here you would want LED local dimming to be more aggressive, so medium option, or even high depending on your preferences. Also, TrueMotion is available here, so you can adjust it. For Dolby Vision content, let's see settings. So my recommendation is that you use cinema. By default, picture is in standard, but as usual there is too much blue and colors are not accurate. And then also here you can further refine some options which are available in the same way like I mentioned for SDR and HDR10 content. So I was quite pleased with this TV during calibration and testing. It's got accurate colors by default, but like always you need to switch from these inaccurate default modes to more accurate ones. But once you do that, and with small tweaks, you really get pleasant looking images, great for watching movies and so on. Ideally in a room with some light, because in pitch black environment, even with local dimming, black is not black, and these big blocks that are turning on and off can be a bit distracting. But on the other hand, you get a wider viewing angle compared to VA LCD TVs, which offer higher contrast by default even without local dimming. So it's really up to you to consider this TV or some other depending on your preferences and on your room layout. Guys, with this I would like to thank you for watching this video. If you have some questions or comments, let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye!